Tolkien once commented that he did not like allegory, even then when he was old enough and wary enough to detect it. In response to the question that had been asked him, he did let on what he thought the Lord of the Rings would have been had allegory have been his intention. And I feel today that maybe we should take that seriously, more seriously than ever has been taken seriously. He said that the Lord of the Rings had been an allegory. Surely the Ring of Power would have been seized and attempted to be used against the power that had created it and from which it emerged. I personally feel very similarly towards symbolism, not least because I was used as a symbol very perniciously in order to do harm. Do no harm is not a motto of a symbolist, in my opinion. Should be. Maybe I wouldn't detest symbolism so much if it were. They seem to be more from the futurists' inclination, Marinetti's inclination to go the direction of fascism, strong arms, and foolhardy conviction about their bigotries. So they come up with things like burning crosses and swastikas. I felt that using a vagina image for the Eye of Sauron, as New Line Cinema did, which although it had some very admirable moments, sadly left out the denouement, robbing the whole trilogy of the opportunity to claim it was an act of love for Tolkien. I thought the use of the vagina for the Eye of Sauron was uncalled for. I thought the shadow of Will Zell in Sam Gamgee was uncalled for. The shadow of David Lucarelli and Frodo Baggins was uncalled for. And the New Line Cinema reference to the Carrot Tape was uncalled for. But Christopher Tolkien evidently comes from the progeny framework that RFK Jr. comes from. You don't mind tromping, tromp, on their old men's legacies. Martin Luther King had a reassuring comment about his dream for the civil rights movement's fulfillment and the human rights movement's aspirations internationally. He said that a person should be judged by the content of their character. In the House of Elrond, Pippin Took and Merida Took were at a great council, and Gandalf said that since they wanted to come in the fellowship, they should be permitted to come in the fellowship. And Elrond said, if they knew what they faced, they would not dare. He wanted to use them as messengers to send back to the Shire. And Gandalf put forward that it was true that if they knew what they faced, they would not dare, but they would wish they dared. the content of their character was very important in light of their inexperience. And Gandalf, in his wisdom, took a stand for their valor. When they faced final despair before unlooked-for hope arrived. Pippin said, "There's no hope." And Gandalf snapped, "Then we will do without hope." It's a brilliant moment in fellowship morale. I made a friend in Martha Gellhorn. No one who knew her intransigence about Israel's excesses, which have turned the corner into terrorism and doom-laden evil, credited her veracity on the subject of Zionists. But she was an unimpeachable witness to World War II and saw the liberation of Dachau, among other things. And she wrote to me from Belize in her 80s on a manual typewriter, ever the war correspondent, to assure me that she understood that I was communicating with great urgency whatever it was that I had experienced, observed, and felt needed to be conveyed. If she had known the truth, she would not have dared admit it. But she proved to me that she wished she dared. She had a friend. I didn't realize that General Foucher was her friend. Richard Crane wrote a monograph about General Foucher that I was lucky enough to chance to ask after to see if anyone had. So I have a copy of it, an autographed copy of it. He was a general of conscience in war. He was French and was given orders to abandon Czechoslovakia, and he just relinquished his rank for France and became a common Czech soldier. He was a true conscience in military affairs. Sadly to say, America, France, the United States cannot even recognize the honorable in military leadership. They have absolutely no comprehension, none. This is a truly scary and sad realization about the fruits of incomprehension that have surrounded us. I am not gifted in words of hate. I don't feel suitable to the expression of them. But I don't want my skills in language to hide the aristocracy of my contempt for the leadership of Israel. What they are doing is doom-laden evil. They are pulverizing a civilization of elves who were better than them. There was a moment in Tolkien where Strider was talking about how the hobbits, the halflings, scorn them. He said, as long as they are safe and happy, let them scorn us, because he was a magnanimous man, longed to see them safe and happy. This would have been the suitable character of Israel towards the people who they, in their sorrows, came to dispossess. There was never anything stopping the Jews of Pittsburgh from having some respect for me and my father. There was never anything stopping them from being generous-hearted and grateful and being glad the past had been overcome. There was never anything stopping Israel from being generous-hearted, fearless, charitable, pitying, magnanimous, and celebratory towards the Palestinians among them. There was never any law, any reason for their callous, calculating, madness. I don't have any words for my hatred. I don't know how to express hatred that way. I don't want to be associated with hatred. But contempt, I cannot deny and will never deny. They are horrible people. What they are doing is absolutely deadly to the human future. It cannot be tolerated. Must not. People who feel the way I do are not yet at war with Israel. But make no mistake, they have poisoned us. They have tortured our minds, our spirits, and souls. They have blackened our names in the history books, and they show no remorse. That is a crime for which it is suitable that it would become deadly to them. People like me are trying to break the siege, trying to compel a ceasefire, trying to demand, get our message across, that the people in Congress who are this destructive are far too many and must be drummed out.